Today in Monday Legal, we have our guest, Karim Abaza. Welcome, Karim. Good morning.
Morning, Ahmed. Thank you very much for hosting me. It's a big pleasure to be here with you on Monday Legal.
Karim is the General Counsel of Al Jazeera Sports and Cultural Club. Karim, can you tell us a little bit about what do you actually do in these sports contracts? What does it include? Do you handle the contracts between the players and the club, or the other contracts that you handle as well? I imagine there are many, but I would like to know from you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know from where to start, but yeah, definitely let's take the football side as well. So yeah, the contract between the player and between the club, which is, I would represent the club in that case. The player is simply signing some sort of an employment contract, similar to the employment contract signed anywhere in the UAE, however, with a very specific clauses to complying with the regulations governing the football business specific, or the football industry itself. So the clause or the contract as a contract, it include all of the standard clauses that we do have: a duration, term, salary, notice period, everything. And then you've got the contract between the clubs. So because if you're acquiring a player from another club, or even loaning a player or offloading a player, you need to have a contract signed. And all of those contracts, even the contract for the player, the contract for the club, and the contract with the agent that brought that player, or the agent representing the club, because the FIFA, they've got a regulation which is governing the FIFA, which is governing the agents, the football agents specifically, that they need to be representing the player or the club. So 3 types of contracts when it comes to any transaction. All those 3 contracts need to be uploaded on the FIFA TMS, which is the transfer matching system, where really FIFA has to look through it and approve the transaction. So it's a very regulated process. And then you've got also the sponsorship contracts, which are usually signed between the club and between the sponsors, between the private businesses that would like to invest more into the sponsorship. They would like to buy the back of shirt, the front of shirt for the full season, or even sometimes they would like to feature their name around the facility when you have their names on the signboard, on the LED screens, even on the sometimes on some of the private I would say merch for the players. So for example, you might find a player who prefers to wear a certain perfume. So the player himself, he would sign a sponsorship. Sometimes the players, they approach us in order to help them with that. And even the club, sometimes they do it for the players as a good incentive for them. And then you've got all of the other associated contracts with respect to the sports itself. So the venue leasing, I mean, if you're leasing a venue, or if you're leasing a stadium to a third party, there's a contract involved. When you are offloading, I would say, we talked about the offloading. When you talk about, like, certain services that are supporting the football. So if you are going to ask a certain person to travel, like to another country to watch a player for you, that's called a scouting contract.
Yeah.
So service providers as well. And then you've got all of the other standard contracts that we know, which is simply the maintenance of the pitch, maintenance of the stadium, facility management, employment contracts with the staff. I mean, like any other business.
Yeah.
But in the sports specifically, the 2 significant ones are the football transactions and the sponsorships, because they are in the core of the football business, or in the sports business in general.